Hello guys, 2000 Trains here. Yep, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded any videos onto YouTube train spotting wise, so I apologize about that. But I've been having a few issues now and again, more so about my own personal worth train spotting wise. The reason why was because of how I've been doing my commentary. At first I thought it was fun, but after editing the videos and realizing how god awful how, how god awful my commentary is. Saying that's an understatement. Yeah, after realizing how cringy my commentary was, I started to really feel I started to really despise myself and really think, man, you're whack. You sound like a you sound like you sound like a you sound thick. That's what I want to say. You just sound thick. That's what it is. And looking at it, I just didn't feel comfortable with myself. And I was like, is this what I am? Is this really what I am? And when I thought about that, it really that's when I really felt uncomfortable, and it kind of killed in a way, it kind of killed my interest with trying to do train spotting with commentary. Yeah, it killed it in a sense. But then again, you have COVID, which is blocking everyone off. Going on with my mental battle with this train spotting thing, came to realize I came to realize that maybe it's not worth doing commentary from now on. And that's the sad part, because people who like my commentary up to now, this is news to people who haven't who have grown up with my channel with commentary. And if I was to remove that is a shocking thing, is a huge change to how things have been going in general. But I think it's for the best when you think it's for the best, because I know that if I know that if I just don't do any train spotting without commentary, and I just enjoy the experience of train spotting when I get the chance to, and editing the video, I'll actually be happier doing so. And more so, I'll be able to go for different what's it called? Different editing styles. So instead of me waffling, I can actually make it more professional, in the sense that before I train spot, I can check up real time trains, and then when that's done, I can then play around with real time trains, knowing the information of each individual train, and try and match it up to which train has passed and where it's going, its respective destinations. Destinations, you plum. Yeah, so essentially that's what it is. So yeah, and also what I wanted to know is that Tornado 92's response. I've looked at Tornado 92's response in the Q&A provided on the 26th. I thought the advice he gave was good, but until I can get to that stage, I don't think it's worth it, because judging from this video, I bet you guys would have judged that I'm terrible at getting my words out, and that's true. That's just plainly true. There's nothing that can be said. I'm much more good at typing things out. So if you look in the comments, I seem to type much more better than to express it in words. I think that's because since I've been an avid internet user, I'm more able. I seem to have developed a knack for writing stuff in general. I mean, don't get me asked about writing CVs and all that. I hate it. But when it comes to communicating by text in general, I enjoy it more. I enjoy it more. And obviously, I asked other questions like catenary designs, because I took an interest in catenaries, more so with the East Coast, I don't know, because when it comes to East Coast, there's something about it that draws me to it. There's something about it that draws me to it, and I just the problem with it was that I couldn't technically define what each catenary design was to a good enough standard. At least for me, that is. It didn't have to be technical, but it had to be technical enough for me to understand. And kind of in a way, and I sound self smug for saying this, make me feel a bit good about myself that I know this. So, and I'm going to give you a bit of a. It's not the best 101 for information. I'll provide a link if I get the chance. I'll provide a link of where there's different types of catenary designs in the UK if you're interested. But what I'm saying though, and I'm saying this because my knowledge is kind of humble. If I'm going to be humble, my knowledge is kind of limited. I wish I read it a bit more, but I just read it because it was quite interesting and it kind of defines what each catenary design is. So let's start. So the ones you see on the East Coast, the ones that many people like the East Coast. The East Coast is headbands, so literally you have a mast on one side, a mast on another side, and you have tension wires all throughout, making a curved. You have a curved top, you have a curved top set of wires, and then you have a few horizontal stretch of wires, which are used any to support multiple registration arms for each catenary wire. Well, each catenary set of wires, because you have the catenary wire and the contacts wire. See what I did there with my fingers? Catenary wire, contacts wire. Obviously, it comes with a dropper as usual, but the top curved part is to make sure that it's taut. The whole system is taut in place. Otherwise, in the center tracks, it could sag. And if you take it, it will affect in a way it will affect services in different scenarios. So if you have a two forward, two backward case like the East Coast does, it's going to affect the middle service. It's going to affect the fast services. However, if it's a if it's a diagonal direction approach, well, if it's an alternating direction approach like the Great Western Main Line up to Hayes and Harlington, or the main line or the main line that I used to live on, which was the Midland Main Line when I was back in London, it will affect your services. It depends on the. It depends. All right, let me try and look at it from the London bias because it makes it easier. So, can somebody correct me in the comments because I'm gonna get this up down thing wrong because I've never understood it. But let's say it's up. Let's say the catenary was to fail. It will be the up. It will probably be. It will probably be the up fast that would. It will be the up fast services that would fail, and the down slow services that would fail. If you get my drift. It's not the best, but you can get a rough idea of what I'm trying to say. Yep, and the other kind of catenary design you have is the triangulated one. The popular example is the West Coast Main Line, which I like because it gives it the professional appeal. And it has, in fact, yeah, it's the most professional catenary design in my opinion. And more so, I like it because, I don't know, it kind of gives the Alan Walker vibes a bit, if you know who. Alright, I'm gonna ask you a question and leave it in the comments. Do any who here knows Alan Walker? And I'll look at them later. But what I want to say though is that the West Coast Main Line gives Alan Walker vibe. We'll gloss over the fact that Alan Walker was raised in Northampton, which is on the West Coast Main Line, which is impressive, given that I'm a huge fan of Alan Walker. Not crazy huge, but huge, genuinely huge, because I actually enjoy his songs. But the reason why I like it is because there's from the mix of triangulated catenary, some of it looks like something that you'll see at a music concert with one of the masks, because if you have a mask there, you could literally imagine that mask being put in a music concert where you're blasting out your music to your audience, and when you see it on a railway route like that, it just gives it that vibe. And professional wise, I think it's justified in a sense because most of the route is and the route probably in my opinion has to be the A list, has to be the top A list route in the UK because it's a very busy corridor. You have loads of free services. I've seen in many train spot videos, and the companies that operate it are in a way A-listers as well because they do long distances like London to Crewe on London North Western Railway, and then you have Avanti West Coast, which Yaoi kindly describes as a spicy meatball. And I'm yet to travel on their Pendolinos because in fact, I'm kind of excited to go on it because it's kind of like driving on a train that's pretending to be a motorcycle because of the curve. With motorcycles, when you're taking a bend, you're most likely to curve like this. With a Virgin Pendolino, you won't see it, but it won't be obvious because you're not in the cab. But from a passenger's perspective, you'll be able to see on the side. And I don't know. Let me not talk more nonsense. Let me actually ride on the Pendolino and then I can talk. I just hope I can actually go on one. It's a shame that I can't go on the HSTs anymore, so I can experience the real Britishness of trains that made it great. And yeah, that's all it about triangulated catenary design. My least favorite, in my opinion, would have to be the portal frame design. That includes routes like the Great Eastern Main Line. The reason why I don't like it is because, to me, personally, it just looks ugly. Like, it just feels like it's cheaply constructed. You just have I square profile bars just mounted together cheaply, and it just looks basic. And obviously, the Great Western Main Line, the new electrification kit, looks a bit better, but personally, I like the Great Western Main Line's portal frame with a boom on top, which is literally a metal bar that goes between two masts. I like it because it's something different. Although, when I rode on the route, the question of whether the catenary was firmly fixed in place was kind of questionable because I looked at the mast and it looked like there were gaps. I didn't know whether it was put in properly. I didn't know whether that was the case. But the Great Eastern, the Great Eastern has some similarities with the Great Western because you have some new forms of catenary fit over, but with the Great Eastern, it's not my favorite. I do like his old cantilever designs though. It's decent. Cantilevers I don't mind, but between Shenfield and London Liverpool Street, except for those triangulated sections which you have, I don't really like it. It just doesn't go well with me. And I think that's about it on the catenary side of things. Probably there's more. Oh yeah, no. What I want to note with catenary design, the most common one is the cantilever arm. So it kind of looks like this with, well, all right. Imagine a straight mast. You have we have a rod coming out like this, and then you have a support like that. That's essentially what it is. I don't mind them, but I don't care too much about them because they're used everywhere. They're used a lot. There's slight variations of it, but for the most part, it's kind of not that interesting because they're overused everywhere, which is a necessity because it's dual track. You don't need headspans or triangulated that much for for dual tracks. Well, it's just my quirkiness, my own opinions about things. But then again, don't take it as fact. So, I think I've waffled long about catenary design and all that nonsense. So, the purpose of this video is to talk about how things will go from now on. So, given the current state of affairs, I think it's best that I'm going to stay inactive for some time. Although, I'm rumoring, this is just a hint. Sooner or later, I'm going to be making a new music channel. I'm going to be expanding my Trackside Junction, if you get the drift. I'm going to be expanding my Tracks at the Junction and creating a new channel called 2000 EDM, where I'll literally post music. And when it comes to music, guys, don't force it out. I want to literally do it naturally. I don't want to put too much out of it, because if I try and put too much, it will just stifle my creativity. I want to do it. I want to promote the music that I know is good, and not do too much of it at one single time, because if I release too much, I'm literally becoming a music factory, and I don't want to be like that. I just want to create music because I enjoy it. I don't want to force content out like that. And that's one of the things I was gonna let you know. So music is gonna come up at some stage. Also, when I go back to Trainspotting, I'm gonna quit the commentary for now, unless I can think of a way to put commentary in a way that doesn't sound cringy and fake, like the last videos I've been making. Hopefully when I go back into Trainspotting, because I do love Trainspotting, it's just the editing of my cringy commentary that I can't cope doing it with anymore. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do it, because I always like to have the human part of it. After all, it's the reason why I like Tornado 92, because of the human element in his Trainspot videos. That's something very few Trainspotters actually do. Well, you have KTV who does it, you have Trainspot East who does it, but the reason why it works for them is because it's natural. It's genuinely natural. But for me, I literally felt like I was forcing myself to do it, and it was embarrassing. And I was like, you know what, I didn't want to be in a situation where this one kid copied Yowie and all that. So I think it's for the best. I think I'm not, when I go back to Trainspotting, I'm just gonna keep it professional and muster up any real-time trains information if I get the chance. I think that's the best move from now, because trying to train spot with commentary at the moment, it's gonna be cringy. So I'd rather do it in a way that I can at least be happy with. I can at least do it in a way that I'll be happy with, rather than try to force that this is good when it's cringy. So yeah, that's my update from me and about how things are going to go. So in short, I'm at a junction where I'm going to make a new channel, and I'm going to take a more of the silent films approach to Trainspotting once we've exited this COVID tunnel. So yeah, so I think that's all I can say now. God damn it, I've spoken for so long. So yeah, so yep, 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 so yep. Yep, so just an update. A natural yet awkward updates from me. So, yeah, I think that's all I can say now. So, until I go back into train spotting and I start uploading one of my music videos, I should see you guys later then. Peace out, guys, and take care. Peace and stay safe, guys.